What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beers And. Today, we're going to be talking about beers in space. I'm very excited.
I don't know why I keep going to Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars. Well, because, it is Star Wars.
It is Star Wars.
That is Star Wars. Space, it's Star Wars.
The final frontier.
There's a whole day dedicated to it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. My name is Alex, and this lovely gentleman to my right.
Hi there, I'm Nick.
We're going to be talking about space today, but in particular, planets.
I'm excited for this one.
Very excited. Had a lot of fun looking this up. You're going to get a lot of facts, a lot of stats, a lot of science today.
I wasn't excited at first because I'm not a big space guy.
Oh, I freaking love space.
We had a conversation about this.
Yeah, it was one of my first questions of the day.
It was, and I think even then you had asked us once we were on a cruise.
Oh, definitely.
Many years ago, and we were standing out on the bow of the ship, I believe.
Best place to view the sky and the ocean.
And I want to say that we had some of the island's finest, if you will. And you said you were like, what do you think about more, space or the ocean? It was like, no, dude, no. And I'm a big ocean guy.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to even say.
Myself as well, but I would be terrified. And we had this conversation, I think, the same day. I would be terrified to just be dropped out in the ocean. Like, middle of the ocean, deep ocean. Straight up petrified of that.
We're not allowed to watch any movies at home with that as the main theme because that is one of Nick's biggest
open water.
Open water.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't even like to do water things in video games.
Oh no!
Like it gets me that bad sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get away from that.
Let's get away from water.
If you're watching on YouTube, congrats. You get an A+ for today. If you're not, you can come find us at Beers and Podcast, and also like, comment, and subscribe, please. That'd be awesome. And also on Instagram at the same. And if you want to come over to Twitter, which no one really does, come find us at Twitter at BeersN1.
Exactly. Make sure, again, if you're listening, though, because you're driving and you're being safe,
then good on you as well.
Good on you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, whatever it is.
You can even tell us if you don't like us.
Which, let's be honest, no one. You're not a liar. You're not
gonna say that.
You're not a liar. Damn it.
I'm really hyped to have this beer.
This is an exciting one.
So another 450 North for us. This one is a Slushy XXL. So I found out what that means, actually.
Oh, yeah,
so there's like Slushy, there's Slushy XL, there's Slushy XXL. So it just means that there's more fruit.
Oh.
That's literally it.
I like
double
that,
the recipe or whatever they...
Oh, okay.
Whatever they do.
I can get down with that.
Slushy XXL, this is called Turtle Power. Turtle. And it's got quite the interesting ingredients.
Mm.
Here's some of the extra. Double marshmallow, kiwi, double pineapple, double apricot, banana, and just a touch of cucumber.
Ooh, just a little smattering of a dollop of cucumber.
Yep.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
This is going to be an exciting one.
I'm curious because we know my feelings on marshmallow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a little worried.
Yeah. But between the kiwi and the apricot and the pineapple, though.
Double pineapple.
Double pineapple. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't forget.
This is going to be fun for two folks I know that definitely had allergic reactions to pineapple at
100%.
Certain points in their life. This will be a fun one.
Good thing we're over that. Spoiler, I'm very upset that this beer is not green. We haven't poured it yet, but I saw a picture of it. It's not green. I don't know why. I feel like that's just bad marketing.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is a little choice, too. I'm just realizing that we are coming up on St. Patrick's Day, too.
That is true.
I don't like green beer.
Not on purpose. Yeah,
freaks me out.
It's like cool for the day,
I guess.
But then just why?
Freaks me out.
It's only ever been green Bud Light. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, exactly. I've had it pink as well.
Really? Pink beer?
For breast cancer awareness.
Oh, I was going to say for Valentine's Day.
No, I've had pink Bud Light for October.
Oh, okay. All right. See, that's appropriate.
Definitely appropriate.
I'll allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped to get into planets. First, we're going to do the beer.
Okay.
And we're also going to get into a question.
Ooh. What do you got?
Ooh, this one actually comes from Christina.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't have a question and I needed help.
All right.
And this is actually a really good one. If you could choose, or, if you wanted to, which reality show would you put yourself on or compete on?
The Amazing Race.
That is a fantastic answer.
I haven't watched it in...
Is it still on? I will check.
I want to say yes.
Oh, yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Wow, 33 seasons.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Started in 2001.
Yep. Yeah.
That's a fantastic show.
Yeah, because the reason why I liked that one is that, yes, I know that based on who is being selected at least to be on the show is still part of the drama and part of the like scripting aspect of things. But just the idea of being able to travel to some of those places, I think is still enough to keep me going.
Do you have anyone in mind that you would like to bring on? And I won't be upset if it's not me. Because you need a balanced team.
Yeah. I would really have to think about it.
That's fair.
I would really have to think about something like that.
It's a big decision. What do they play for? Like $1 million, right?
Something along those lines. I'm trying to think of like who I've traveled with a decent number of folks. I mean, it might be so bold as to say, I think I would probably ask Danny. I think I'd ask my buddy Danny.
That's a good pick.
Danny's, again, he can be a little bit more tactical than I can in certain regards.
Definitely.
I feel like he's adventurous enough to go ahead and do it. Danny and I can also yell at one another and it not have much of an effect on our friendship and our relationship.
You guys are yellers, that's for sure.
Danny and I, don't forget, we've also gone backpacking, in the woods, just him and I, and have
a couple times.
Yeah, many times. We usually go at least once or twice a year. Yep. So, I would say I would go with that.
That's a good pick.
What show are you going on?
Ooh, man, even though I do not want to eat bugs, I would love to do Fear Factor.
Would you really?
Yeah. Ooh. Or I think, and I don't really watch this show, but I think the challenge would be fun.
I'm not sure what that one is.
That's, it used to be on MTV. I don't know what it's on anymore, but it's like guys and girls.
Oh,
and they get paired up kind of girl.
Rules,
yeah, exactly.
Real world type thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Do game shows count? They're a type of
reality show.
Oh,
yeah.
Then The Price is Right.
That's a good pick. I probably wouldn't pick The Price is Right, believe it or not.
What would you pick?
I would go. I can picture the game show, but I can't get the name.
What do they do? What's the objective?
Wheel of Fortune.
Oh yeah,
easily.
I like that.
Easily Wheel of Fortune because I love the word puzzles and like trying to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't even think of game shows. That was a good one.
Yeah, I like how I'm asking you, despite the fact that I teach an entire lesson that includes game shows as reality programming.
What was that other one? I like $10,000 Pyramid.
Oh, I love
that's a great one
the
too.
pyramid game also. Yeah, I like those ones that are like kind of easy, but like I don't want to say easy. If you're good.
Right.
You're good.
Yeah.
But if you suck, you're not going to have a good time with them.
You ever see that one? It's an English show. It's called The Beast or something. Or maybe it's not called The Beast. It's The Beast is a person on it who you go against. And he
yes.
You answer questions. And if you get them right and he gets one right, then you come towards each other in the middle.
Yes.
And if you have to get more than he does
I think there's an American version, I believe, of it now also.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a fun one, too.
I would get down with that, too. I like those.
Definitely.
Cool.
One more. And then we're getting off game shows. It's fairly new. It's I think it's based on the United States because I could see the board and it's a picture, an outline of the US, but there's like words on there and it's man, I don't know. I'll come up with it later.
If it's anything having to do with like US trivia, absolutely.
You'd be money.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
You know what I used to love?
What's that?
Do you remember Win Ben Stein's Money?
Oh, yeah.
Hosted by Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was an awesome show. Turns out Dry Eyes. Turns out that Ben Stein's an asshole. But I mean, other than that.
I could have saw that coming.
Yeah. Who would have guessed a guy working in economics for the Reagan administration would have turned out to be a dick?
Yeah. Who would have? Who would have thunk it?
Womp, womp, womp.
This, I can't even express to you the banana and
I have
apricot.
a little bit more of the bottom because I think it's a little bit hazier and looks a little bit thicker.
A little bit. Should we mix?
No, I'm actually kind of excited about this.
And I was going to say, and danger.
Mixing I was going to say, I think that will be
not.
good. We've already got the can up on top of the mixer.
I smell banana and apricot really interestingly, and like this combination I've never smelled before.
But the banana is really being complemented, I think, by the marshmallow here.
Probably.
I am getting a lot of that. It
smells like banana runts.
That's exactly what it smells like. I hope it's not that sweet, though. I'm hoping that it's not.
Oh, man. I don't know.
Cheers.
No cucumber as of yet. Oh.
The kiwi is in there. I'm getting the sourness from the
I
kiwi.
don't know what to say.
Yeah. I feel like the cucumber is very much on the back. Very much at the back. Almost an afterthought.
The hell? Okay. One more sip and then I'm going to analyze.
Huh. Oh, yeah. So there's a trick we were recently taught where if you hold your nose, I think if anybody goes back to the Combo Birthdays episode, we did this.
And we did it once more for something else. I forget what.
If you hold your nose, take a sip of your beer, and then let go of your nose, then you'll get a little bit more of like your
nuanced flavors.
So let's yeah.
Okay. I can't believe I'm going to say this. The cucumber, apricot, banana, and marshmallow awkwardly and pleasantly round out the back of this beer.
Yeah.
What else is in here?
I'm struggling with something that's sour.
Oh, pineapple.
Yeah, I'm struggling with something that lives a little bit of an unpleasant sour middle, tastes right in like the middle back of my tongue.
I think it's the apricot, banana, and marshmallow.
That's leaving that sourness almost a
Yeah, I think, well, that's what I get out of the flavor of it. It's very confusing.
It is. And I'm not sure if it's confusing in a good way or a bad way necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are some beers that we've definitely tried where the flavor combination doesn't seem to make sense on paper and doesn't initially by taste, but then will kind of grow on us. This is one of those
I think that middle flavor that you're talking about is kiwi and pineapple with apricot, and then it kind of rounds out into the marshmallow, apricot, banana, cucumber.
Yeah, I think so.
This is interesting.
Your face is saying
I don't know if I love it or hate it. I can't tell. Okay, let's break it down. The marshmallow is not oversweet.
No,
which it normally
not.
is.
And I think that's due to the banana.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing for me.
The banana's really nice. It does taste like banana candy.
It does. I think I could do without the apricot.
Yep.
I could do without the apricot here.
Yeah.
I like come on, banana kiwi? Absolutely.
Right. The apricot's interesting because like it comes in the middle with the pineapple, but then it also comes in with the marshmallow and the banana. And I think that's where it gets kind of confusing. The kiwi is like, and honestly, the one thing besides banana and cucumber that isn't double.
Yeah.
So the kiwi's kind of in the background, but it actually has like, I think that brings in a little bit of sweetness and tartness. That's nice. I think you're right. The apricot can go.
Yeah. I'm not, I feel like I'm not entirely sold on it. It's good. It's interesting. It's perhaps a little too complex for its own good.
It's like if Hawaiian Punch made a breakfast juice.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of?
Yeah.
You remember almost as a kid when you would go out for ice cream and you were allowed to put all the toppings on yourself.
Yeah.
And how when you're a kid, you're like, I'm going to put everything on. I want
gummy worms and caramel.
Everything. Cherries, hot chocolate, and
those gummy worms are the...
Oh, and then they get hard after
penny
a
on
while.
the rails, yep.
And when you're a kid, you like the idea. But as an adult, it's like, I'm going to be a little bit more nuanced in how I'm going to do this. This, to me, is the kid version.
I am intrigued by it still because I feel like every sip I'm noticing something new. And by the way, this is classified as a smoothie or pastry sour.
That I could definitely see there. Yeah, and
ton of fruit in here.
Due to the fruit and the...
Super fruited. Man, it's so interesting because it tastes like juice, like banana juice that you would have at breakfast.
Yeah.
But then there's also like other stuff going on that gives it a different character that I don't really know what to compare it to.
I'm going like a 2-3.
Oh, you're really low.
Yeah, I'm not... We've had a number of 450 Norths.
Mm-hmm. And we definitely had ones that we enjoyed more.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there were quite a few when we did our Scooby-Doo, from that whole multi-pack. There were a number of those that were really, really good. This is one that's just slightly missing the mark for me.
So out of 300 ratings, I know I told you, we said this and you said don't do it, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
Okay.
4.29 on Untapped. It's only 300 ratings. So like realistically, there could be a couple twos in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
everything I'm seeing is 4, 4.5, 4, 4.25.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 2.3?
Yeah.
Flip that. Sorry.
3.2.
I meant 3.2. I apologize.
Still low.
Yeah, it's still
Still
low,
lower.
but it's not. Yeah, it's not.
If
really...
this beer was green, I would give it a higher.
I feel like I could almost excuse then some
I would
of
give it a higher.
I could excuse some of the taste then, if it was green. I will give you that. The lingering
3.2.
Yeah, the lingering after effect is really what's doing it, and I'm not too big a fan. I feel like also maybe if this even had a bit of almost a sour component, I would like that.
More sour.
Yeah. I'm just not feeling
More
it.
kiwi maybe.
Perhaps. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it at all.
I think we could do without the apricot. The banana's the best part, and that's the one I was worried about the
Oh,
most.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was pretty confident with I was comfortable with the banana. I like a good banana flavor.
Same,
if
but
it's done correctly.
Sometimes it can be done incorrectly.
Yeah. I think that considering they're using real fruit, it's not like a banana extract.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a little higher than you, but still not that high. I'm really gonna go like 3-4.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm still interested by it. Like I still don't know whether I love it or hate it. I should probably just give it a 2.5 at that point, but I'm not gonna go that low.
I agree with you. I would have this at a nice boozy brunch. I could definitely get down on this with a little bit of you serve me up some Benedict.
You put some champagne in this. You think it's any better?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm missing something a little effervescent, a little sparkly, a little tart.
Yeah, because you know what? It's not that bubbly.
No, it's not at all. It's actually
not.
quite flat.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
got like this really interesting mouthfeel.
It's pleasant.
It is.
Yeah, that's why I'm still not.
Okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
All right.
But,
right. Not
you know.
too bad. Not our favorite.
No.
We've had better from 450 North. At the same time, I would say 450 North is like still blowing everyone out of the water.
Just out of
In
curiosity,
sour game. Yeah.
what is the ABV on this?
It's actually pretty low, 5.3.
Oh, okay.
Most of the 450 North beers that we've had are 6 or under.
Oh, they are?
I think. They're usually pretty low.
Okay.
And I wonder if it has something to do with all the fruit in there, even though you'd think that it would do the inverse.
I was thinking that the marshmallow maybe had a bit of an effect on it.
Could.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not too bad.
Let's get into some planets.
Let's get into the planets.
Should we start with the first?
I think it's funny you say that because I was thinking we should probably go in order.
Let's start at the beginning.
That's a very good place.
Just so everyone knows,
start.
Pluto doesn't count.
Yeah, we're not playing that game.
Right. And we live on Earth, so we're not giving you Earth stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to know about Earth, go look out the window.
Go
or something.
outside.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Let's start with Mercury. Mercury is known for its short years, long days, extreme temperatures, and weird sunsets, which I did not go into. But that makes sense because it's very close to the sun.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does the sun really set when it's that close?
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Not only is it the fastest of the planets.
Oh, it is?
Yep, but the smallest. Only slightly larger than Earth's moon.
You know, and it's funny you say that because out of all the other research that I had done, a lot of comparison of other planets' moons was to that of Mercury, saying it was either larger than or smaller than Mercury. And I couldn't figure out why, because you're getting nothing but hard-hitting facts here.
That's the truth.
I couldn't figure out why they kept using Mercury as, like as a comparison, but now that makes sense. It's smaller than Mars, though?
It is the smallest planet.
Huh. All right.
Yep. So Mercury speeds across our solar system at a ridiculous 112,000 miles per hour. Nothing.
Come on.
Usain Bolt.
I drive a Fiat.
I did not know, but it makes sense. The Romans noticed that this was the fastest planet and aptly named it after their messenger god.
Oh, that's where it came
got
from.
Its name. Yep.
Oh.
Actually, a large majority, except for one planet, is named after a Roman god or mythology.
Yes.
Only one, and we'll get into it later, is Greek. Okay. So Mercury is the second most dense planet which I didn't know, because of its core, which is a solid chunk of metal roughly 2,200 to 2,400 miles wide.
Oh, wow.
Nearly 75% of the planet's diameter. So it's pretty much all core.
Oh, it's all core.
All core. Actually, there's one...
Is that like... Is Mercury the bro planet at that point?
It's got the best apps. However, Mercury only has one tectonic plate. So interestingly enough, it causes it to shrink year over year due to the cooling of the core. So go ahead.
I was going to say, and I'm learning that this is not what we should be doing in podcasts. I should just let you finish. Something I'm going to eventually... After this, I will start to do.
Starting now.
The core is cooling, and yet, isn't it being sucked in closer to the sun?
Do I have that? That I don't have. I didn't see that information. What I gathered from it was that the core cools because of its only one tectonic plate. Like if there were two causing friction, it would keep up the heat. But because there's only one and it kind of slides back and forth, the core cools.
Huh. Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. So being so close to the sun, obviously Mercury's surface temperature is very high, right? 840 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh.
That of a very nice pizza oven. In fact, some wood burning pizza ovens reach that and cook your pizza in like 3 minutes.
That's impressive.
So you would be seared to a crisp on Mercury.
I like that.
But also, and this is where I was like, wait a second. Due to the lack of atmosphere to trap any of this surface heat, the temperature plummets to 270 degrees below Fahrenheit, negative 275 degrees.
Oh,
on the other side, I assume, in darkness.
How is it considered to be a planet then?
That's a fantastic question.
Because it doesn't have any moons, I believe.
It does not. I don't think. No, it only has one
tectonic plate.
Yep.
Okay.
That wasn't what I was going to say, but yeah, that's true. I don't know. Went right over my head. Oh, it only doesn't have an atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't know. But this temperature swing of 1,100 degrees is the largest in the solar system.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Correspondingly, with this lack of atmosphere, Mercury's been peppered by asteroids over the years. So there was one that really caught my attention. Roughly 4 billion years ago, it was struck by an asteroid about 60 miles wide.
Oh, my God.
The impact from this asteroid would have been stronger than 1 trillion 1 megaton bombs. So for reference, 1 megaton bomb is equal to that of 1 million tons of TNT.
Oh.
Yeah. So 1 trillion, 1 million tons of TNT, which is insane to think about.
I have not investigated planets in such a long time. Sorry,
yeah, same.
All of this research has reminded me that, like, again, Earth, for example, has gone through, and the solar system in general has changed and ebbed and flowed so much. And something like that is bombastic, because I can't imagine then what did that do to the rest of our universe?
Sure.
You know? Like, holy shit.
Sure. It probably knocked it out of its orbit a little bit.
It had to have.
Yeah, that's
right?
small of a planet. So anyway, that asteroid created what's called the Caloris Basin. It's a crater 960 miles wide that would fit the entire state of Texas.
Caloris!
Larry Bird. Don't know why that's where I went. But yeah, it's insane. It really is like incredible. Some of the things that happened to this planet.
Poor Mercury. Sounds like it's been through a lot.
Right?
Been through a lot.
I think I'm up again.
No, I'm up next.
Oh, it's Venus.
I'm on Venus.
You're right.
Venus happens to be the second planet from the sun.
I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. Your desire.
I was going to research that song as well, but decided not to. Oh, man. The Bananarama version is better
the best
than the original.
Agreed.
I'll say it now. So, the Venus, second, again, planet from the sun, named after, again, a Roman goddess of beauty and love. This is why I had known about the moon thing with Mercury, is because Venus also doesn't have any moons. And as a result, Mercury and Venus are the only two that don't have moons. Oftentimes, the planet is referred to as Earth's sister planet in that it's similar in size, mass, proximity to the sun, and in like bulk composition. Otherwise, it's completely different in that it consists of the atmosphere consists of more than 96% carbon dioxide and is layered in clouds of. Do you know what the clouds are?
Sulfuric acid.
Nicely done,
Was it really?
Mr. Chula.
Wait,
yes.
really? Oh, wow, what a guess.
Yep, absolutely. It is covered in clouds of sulfuric acid.
That sounds terrible.
So, and this I found kind of, I found most of this interesting, but so despite the fact that it's the second from the sun, it actually has a hotter average surface temperature than Mercury does.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So it's got a mean temperature.
Because of its atmosphere.
Oh, yes, that would make sense.
Traps the heat.
So what did you say Mercury's mean temperature was? Or average temperature was?
I actually didn't, but it goes as high as, I believe it was 840 degrees.
Okay.
And all the way down to negative 275.
Okay. So Venus, an extra 27 degrees. An average temperature of 867 degrees Fahrenheit. Yep. So it was the first planet outside of Earth to be visited by a spacecraft in 1961, and then the first to successfully have like a spacecraft land on it then.
Oh, nice.
In 1970. So it was thought for a period that oceans may have existed on Venus. However, again, like as temperature increased, they would have all been vaporized as a result. So everybody talks about colonizing Mars.
Yeah.
And it seems like that might not actually be the best option.
Interesting.
So while the surface of Venus is too hot for life, the atmospheric pressure and temperature, about 50 kilometers into its atmosphere, is very similar and very much like those of Earth's. Oh. So in 1971, a Soviet engineer by the name of Sergei Zimotsky.
I love that name, Sergei.
Sergei.
Love Sergei.
Such a good one.
Yeah.
Serge. And then later in 2003, a NASA engineer by the name of Jeffrey Landis suggested the use of aerostats for crewed exploration and then the possibility of floating cities. So there's a plan that, like, there's already a concept kind of like in place for this. It's called, and I wrote, the name of the project is called Havoc. And I said,
terrible name.
Very choice name. And it stands for High Altitude Venus Operational Concept.
Whoa. So
it's basically a set of like crewed NASA missions to Venus. And it's a series of like it's a 5-phase concept, like beginning with like robotic exploration and ultimately like would culminate in permanent human presence.
Cloud cities.
By way of, space station style spacecrafts.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah. So because of the fact that they realized, so these aerostats are essentially lighter than air. And so they're buoyant as a result, like on their own. And that's how they say, like, that's one of the speculations of how to go ahead and create like a livable space for humans.
That's bizarre.
It's closer to get to than Mars is. And again, they say that due to the temperature and the atmospheric pressure being similar as well, that it's something that
More
could
livable.
be like viable. Yeah.
Wow. Hector, how do you feel about living on Venus? Okay, thanks. Thanks for letting
We
us know.
all know that men are from Mars and Venus and women are from Venus.
But where are gnomes from?
Gnomes?
The woods?
The Netherlands.
That sounds right.
Know.
That tracks.
I feel like that's correct.
I believe you.
It's probably not.
Okay.
All right. Tune in next episode for a definite correction.
So that's really cool. Like Sky Cities on Venus is possibly the next step.
The concept art that they had
it's gotta be,
looks.
Is it all domed?
It's
open.
It's almost looks like it's more like open. That it's almost how can I describe it? We've definitely played like video games in the past where you're up in the clouds, almost on top of like platforms.
Yeah.
Almost, and that's kind of what it looks like.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's only I should only. Yeah, I'm gonna say only. It's like a 4-month. It would be a 4-month travel. No way. When we think about how we here on Earth used to travel too.
Yeah, Mars is further.
Mars, I believe, is like 5 months, so it's an actually
not that bad.
Like 33 days. Well, it's one of those things.
Whole month on a ship, whole extra month.
It's the difference between being on a flight for 5 hours as opposed to like 8 hours.
That's true.
Those last 3, they can be rough.
No, you're right, but also that would help because you'd carry less supplies because you wouldn't have to be on there as long.
Exactly, so, and that's what they were talking about too.
For Venus, when you colonize there.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Keeping the theme, we're going to Mars. Yep.
Mars.
Red and dusty. That's Mars.
Have you been reading my Tinder profile?
That's a fantastic tagline.
I don't even know what that means. Neither red nor dusty.
So Mars' red rusty color comes from exactly that, rust.
Oh.
The soil is rich with iron oxide, or as we know it,
as rust.
Rust.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Not only home to the largest dust storms in the entire solar system, and wait until I get to these dust storms because they're incredible. It also has the largest volcano, mountain, and valleys in the entire solar system. Huh. Sounds like an awful vacation spot.
It does.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know.
Let's keep going.
Have you been to the Midwest? That's terrible.
No, actually.
Oh, God.
I don't intend to.
They don't call them the flyover states for nothing.
They are beautiful to fly over, though.
Yeah.
They are. But that's about it.
I guess.
Plains.
The
highest peak on Mars is named Olympus Mons. It's roughly 17 miles tall, or 3 Mount Everest.
Holy shit.
Stacked up on top of each other.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Super tall for no reason. It's also a volcano.
You make it sound like it was built.
It's also a volcano.
It's a volcano too?
Yeah. 370 miles in diameter. This volcano is enough to cover New Mexico.
Oh my God.
So the way it's explained, and this is why it's so tall, this volcano on Mars is similar to that of the volcanoes in Hawaii. So they're very cone shaped.
Yeah.
Because as lava comes out, there's like a long fall to the bottom. So as it cools, it keeps creating this steeper and steeper structure on the way up.
Oh.
Yeah. Could you imagine a volcano the size of New Mexico?
No, not at a wide.
Yeah. 370 miles in diameter.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh, and just that means that the opening is that big, right? I'm assuming?
No, it is the base.
Oh, okay. Even then.
It's the base, but still.
That's wild.
Yeah. Because let's just say, if there's a volcano that big where New Mexico is, and it decides to erupt, I mean, all the surrounding area is getting covered in lava.
Oh, come on. I mean, and even the disruption beyond that. Remember a couple years ago, there was wasn't there there was an eruption
and seismic activity afterwards, right?
Well, I was just thinking about I think it was an eruption in Iceland, and as a result of just the ash and debris that was put in the atmosphere, grounded all of Western European flights and whatnot.
Right, and that's something that nobody thinks about.
Right.
All the ash in the air.
Put up into the air.
Right.
Holy shit.
Looks like snow in the movies.
Oh.
Like 30.
Oh, yeah.
30 snow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the dust storms. Because, Nick, let me tell you about these dust storms.
Tell me about them.
The science behind this is insane. Dust storms on Mars can cover the entire planet sometimes. And here's a theory why. The airborne dust particles that are mostly rusted iron, as they get kicked up in the air, they absorb heat. In turn, they heat the air around it, the atmosphere around it, and they create these pockets of hot air. So these pockets of air could flow to colder regions, generating wind. And then if the wind gets strong enough, it picks up more dust. In turn, heating more of the atmosphere, causing more wind, and just...
Oh my God.
So the dust storms on Mars are insane. Good.
No, that just sounds terrifying.
An entire planet covered in dust.
Yeah, I don't like the way that sounds in the slightest.
Yeah, and I'll end on this. Interestingly enough, Mars's axis has changed over the years due to the fact that it does not have a moon to anchor it.
Wait, Mars doesn't have a moon either?
Apparently not.
So I should say that all of my sources are all from Wikipedia. So I've got to go ahead
Most of mine were NASA websites and Wikipedia. Same thing.
All right, and we're going to have to go and check. I'm going to have to go back and check then on that
we'll both have to check that.
Huh.
But yeah, it says it doesn't have a moon to anchor it. So this has led to drastic climate changes on the Martian planet.
It's fascinating because that was, again, consider it what it is, pure ignorance. I genuinely did not realize that so many other planets had such seasonal variations and seasonal
you don't
weathers.
think about it because, why would you? And they seem far enough or close enough to the sun that it doesn't matter, but it actually does.
Of course.
There's such drastic changes.
It's wild. There was a period, in our not so distant, collective history where, we used to fund, space and science education out the ass.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's
private.
Yeah.
It's all private.
And as a result, you've got two men in their 30s that did not realize that other planets have seasons.
I bet you a lot of other people don't either.
No, but now they do.
Now they do.
Tell your friends.
You're welcome.
To like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Moving on then, I didn't realize also, by the way,
yeah,
you and I just arbitrarily picked which planets we were going. I didn't think I realized that we essentially have gone back and forth for each one.
Pretty much.
I think
about to do two in a row.
I am.
Yeah.
Buckle up, bitches.
Long-winded over here.
You know what I'm like? Have you ever heard of a dust storm on Mars?
You ever see one of those things that they use to stoke the fires and it shoots out air?
Billows.
It's just
Yep, that's me. Just fanning the flames, baby.
Oh, I'm sad.
Off to number 5, which is Jupiter. Again, the 5th planet from the sun and the largest.
Yes.
Considerably.
Way larger than every other one.
It is 2.5 times larger than all the other planets combined.
That's ridiculous.
So it is gargantuan.
Wow.
And again, that's how it earned its name for its size, Jupiter being the king of the gods.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Oh.
Yeah.
Roman mythology.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's primarily composed of hydrogen, but then helium also makes up a notable portion as well, and it's considered to be one of the 2 giant gases.
Yes.
So that's Jupiter, and then we'll discuss in a little bit Saturn as well. Both of them considered to be gas giants because they are composed more of liquid and gas as opposed to a solid. So it's fascinating. Again, there are a number of moons of Jupiter, many moons, in fact. So there are 80 that are known of. However, there's speculation that
there's more.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there is a thought process that there could be many more.
Wow.
4 of the largest ones are referred to as the Galilean Moons, as they were discovered by Galileo. So there's Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. So I went into a little bit about these again because, we might think, oh, it's a moon. How important, how big could these things
I got a feeling they're
necessarily?
different than our moon.
Very much so.
Cool. Love to learn.
So for one thing, Io is about the same size as Earth.
Oh my God.
Yep. It has about 400 active volcanoes and hundreds of mountains, some of which, again, taller than Mount Everest.
Wow.
Then you've got Europa, also about the same size as Earth. It has a smooth, bright surface with a layer of water around the mantle thought to be about 1,000 kilometers thick.
Oh, shnikes.
And then as a result of that, they believe that so then the surface is covered, like I said, with a thick layer of ice. And then underneath is believed to be liquefied oceans.
Oh,
that
under the frozen.
Correct. Under this 100 kilometers of frozen thick ice.
Wow.
That could potentially sustain life. However, again, there's no evidence, to really support that theory yet. Then there's Ganymede, which is a little bit smaller, but almost the size of Mercury. So again, about the size of a planet.
Another planet, yep.
Again, same thing, composed mostly of like silicate rock and water ice. And again, a saltwater ocean is believed to exist.
Interesting.
Right? Some 200 kilometers below the surface. And then there's Callisto, which is just a little bit larger than Ganymede. So again, roughly the same size as Mercury. Again, composed of like equal parts of rocks and ices. Again, another one thought to have a subsurface ocean of liquid water at depths.
What the heck?
A little bit less than 300 kilometers. It is one of the most heavily cratered satellites, so moons, of the solar system, with one major basin that's called Valhalla, with a width of nearly 3,000 kilometers.
Whoa.
It is huge.
On the moon.
Yep, on the moon.
Which one is this?
That's of Callisto.
Callisto.
Yep. So, in general, this is wild. And I'm actually, like, now that I know this, I'm super excited. So, exploration is finally, like, coming to fruition of Jupiter overall. So, there's the anticipated launch of the European Space Agency's JUICE, which is the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, in April of next year. That should launch.
JUICE.
Yep.
Love that.
And it's expected that it will enter into the orbit of Ganymede by September of 2032. And it will be the first spacecraft, essentially, to orbit a moon other than Earth's.
Wow.
And then in 2024, October of 2024, it's believed that NASA's Europa Clipper will be launched as well. And at one point, JUICE and the Europa Clipper are expected to like meet up at one point in time in space. And
cool.
It's wild because not just these Galilean moons, but we'll cover this in a just a little bit, but some of the exploration that humans are trying to do in space are focused much more on some of these individual satellites rather than
why.
The planets themselves. Well, it seems to be due to our discovery of these, celestial bodies that have really similar characteristics and attributes of Earth. Which
makes sense.
Brings us then to, and people are sitting there going, Nick, how could you talk about Jupiter? And because I'm going to stay with Jupiter for just a little bit longer.
Okay.
How could you talk about Jupiter and not talk about
the red spot?
The red spot, the Great Red Spot. So it is a persistent high-pressure region in the atmosphere, and that produces what's known as an anticyclone storm. So it revolves in the opposite direction. It's a counterclockwise cyclone. It can produce winds of up to 268 miles per hour. So there's a lot of actually like debate as to whether or not the one that we're seeing now is the same one that was first sort of observed.
Right.
So they may have first discovered the Great Red Spot since before 1665. When it was first observed, and between 1665 and 1713, the observations of the storm came up a number of times, so they think that it might be the same one, but they're not 100% sure. And the one that we generally refer to was first observed in 1831. It was spotted over 60 times between 1831 and 1879, and beginning in 1879 onward, it has been permanently observed. Like there's consistent observation. 2 new spots exist as well. Oh. So there was a smaller one that formed in March of 2000 that's referred to as either Little Red Spot or Spot Junior. And Great Red Spot and Spot Junior will like run into one another every 2 years. Nothing significant happens. Like they were first anticipating. They just dance a little bit? Yeah, just a little bit. They have a little, do a little two-step. And then there was a third spot that developed and turned red as well in May of 2008. But that's literally the only note that I was able to find on that. Just that a third one now exists.
Interesting.
Okay. Saturn. Not just a shitty car company. Were you with us? There was one time we had gone to go and visit our friend Bridget.
Oh, yeah.
Out in school.
Liv drove a Saturn.
Yes.
It only comes in two colors, green or gray.
Green or gray.
That's it.
And we got into this girl's car. Now, mind you, we've never met this girl before. This is the first time we had met her. She's driving. I want to say, were probably in the front seat.
I think
and
I was.
Our buddy Kyle and myself were in the back seat. And we get in the car, and I was like, oh, nice Saturn. And she was in the middle of going like, oh, thank you so much. I go, said no one ever.
Burn.
The smile was so. The car was already in reverse. We were already backing out of the driveway. There was no telling me to get the fuck out at all. One of the greatest burns I was very proud of because she was so happy at first.
Gross cars.
Saturn's
got rings, doesn't it?
Saturn does have rings. It's the 6th planet from the sun. It is the second largest after Jupiter as well. It is primarily thought that the interior is made out of an iron nickel, while it's surrounded by mostly hydrogen and helium, therefore making it another gas giant. Mm-hmm. So it is pale in color due to ammonia crystals in its upper atmosphere.
That's safe.
And those rings that you were referring to, they are mainly ice and other bits of rock debris and dust as well.
Super cool.
And then because of my jump into Jupiter, became really fascinated again with moons. So there are 83 known moons of Saturn, 53 of which have formal names, which to me seems like, a little lazy.
Yeah.
The largest of which is Titan.
Yes. It's the one that I know about.
Exactly. So it is the second largest moon in the solar system as well. It is the only moon that's known to have its own atmosphere.
Oh, cool.
So figure Titan has something that Mercury doesn't.
Yeah. Titan should be a planet.
And potentially.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Because it's the only body other than Earth that has evidence of stabilized liquid on its surface. However, that liquidized liquid. Duh. Is methane and ethane.
Oh.
And that's due to clouds that have developed. So the climate, which includes, again, rain and wind, creates surface areas, again, much like Earth. There are dunes, there are rivers, there are lakes and seas that are possibly or probably made then of these liquid methane. And ethane. And ethane.
It's just a bunch of alcohol.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, and I'll wrap up with this, but there's an argument that's made that if a body is geologically alive and organically alive, that there is this thought then that life almost could develop.
Sure.
So just as how we are primarily,
carbon life forms,
there is this thought okay, there's
methane
nothing
life forms.
Yes, that is
Why
what
not?
There's a potential thought that Titan might actually resemble like a primordial Earth.
That would be insane,
right? Nothing anybody's got to worry about right now. God knows we don't give a shit enough about our own planet, so
and
don't
they can't
worry.
even get here in that fast.
No,
we have time.
We'll be fine.
It's fine.
We'll listen. We'll all be vaporized by then. Anyway.
I hope so.
So a lot of positivity coming out of the left side of the room.
Yeah, Nick and I decided we were going to share Uranus.
Yeah, we were going to share Uranus.
Right. So that's just what we did.
Yeah. So get ready for us to share Uranus.
Blue-green ice gas ball.
Yeah, baby.
That's my tagline for Uranus. It's the third largest in size of all the planets, the fourth largest in mass, and the only planet to get its name from Greek mythology, not Roman.
You had alluded to the fact that you had kind of figured out why, or was there a reason as to why?
No. Not that I got.
There wasn't? Okay,
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
that's just what I found about it. It's the only one
That's
that.
so strange.
Yeah, well, actually, and I wanted to make this comment when we were talking about Mars. The Romans only named Mars because the Greeks named it Ares. So they just took their god of war and named it.
So again, just like a Greek and Roman like pissing contest.
It's a
more than
copycat
anything
world,
else?
really. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing is new.
No.
All
never.
right.
Nope. And still not now.
And still not now.
Because how many Jurassic Parks have we had?
Not enough.
Yeah.
Says Hollywood
Says
CEO
my mom.
with yacht and
yacht.
and Bugatti.
Michael Bay explosion.
Oh,
okay, so the mantle of Uranus is made of, do you know? Water, methane, and ammonia.
Oh, so it's almost like it took like a whole bunch of like the best parts from like other
Or
planets
best and
and
worst,
decided
sure.
like, okay.
Yeah.
It figures that the Uranus is going to go ahead and pick up what other people have left.
And have a bunch of methane. Yeah. So something that was really interesting when I was doing research on this was they spoke about Uranus's axis and how it's unlike other planets. So Earth tilts on an axis at about 24 degrees, mirroring the sun pretty much.
Oh.
Uranus, on the other hand, has an axial tilt of 99 degrees and quite literally sits sideways, so its poles face the sun, and like the equator is up and down. Yeah, so in turn, this makes a really, really interesting long season because a Uranian year is 84 Earth years. Okay?
Okay.
Because it sits on its axis, the North Pole is constantly pointing towards the sun. So technically, for 42 years, there is sun on the North Pole of Uranus, which means that it has a 42-year-long season that only takes place in one day.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
So because sun shines for 42 straight years, technically it's still the same day.
Oh, it's considered the same day.
Yeah, and then for the other 42 years, total darkness, and it's winter. So when it's the sun is shining on the North Pole of Uranus, they consider it summer.
When the sun is shining on the North Pole of Uranus.
Something I never thought I'd say.
But I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, me too.
Because if I'm going to get that embroidered on a pillow. Wow.
So 42 years of summer and 42 years of winter.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
definitely.
that at all.
I didn't go into any of the like surface temperature or anything, but I did find that it has 27 moons.
Oh, really?
I assume making it the planet with the third most moons behind Jupiter and Saturn.
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you had done Neptune, so I mean...
I did, but I didn't really talk about any of the moons.
Oh, all right. So, yeah, I was going to say...
There's other
you would
fun
know.
stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
So Uranus, again, was really first accredited as being kind of like discovered, if you will, in 1781 by William Herschel. However, it's possible that some of the first observations of Uranus may have come as early as 128 BC.
Whoa.
By Hipparchus, who was a Roman scientist and like philosopher and whatnot, because
astronomer,
he makes astronomer. Thank you. That's the word for a space scientist.
Yes.
An astronomer. Because there are some notes there. And so as a result of some of those extreme seasons that you were talking about, there was some like really increased weather activity in 2007. So as Uranus had entered into, I believe it was its winter equinox, and saw wind speeds get up to 560 miles per hour. Now, what I thought was interesting with this is that Uranus overall is actually like relatively unexplored.
I've read that, but I didn't go into why. I assume it's because there's no real surface on Uranus.
Well, no, and it's interesting that you say that. So, like, the Voyager 2 had done a flyby in January of 1986, and it remains the only observation really carried out of the planet at what's considered to be like a short distance. And the reason why is because it was deemed that getting to Titan the what's the word I'm looking
Saturn
for?
moon?
The moon of Saturn, or one of the moons of Saturn, was of a higher priority.
Oh.
So just goes to show you again, Uranus is getting, looked over for other more important objects.
That typically happens.
Yeah. That's all I got for Uranus.
That's okay. We're going to stop talking about
Let's pull out of Uranus
Anuses.
and move on to the next one.
the last one.
The last one, I apologize.
The 8th planet from the sun, Neptune. Named after...
Neptune, god of the sea.
Yes, sir. So my little tagline for it is the blue giant with the dark spot.
Oh,
because that's what it is. So being the 8th and furthest planet, its orbit is quite long. It takes a mind-blowing 164 years for one full orbit around the sun.
Whoa.
Actually, Neptune's orbit, kind of coinciding with every other planet's orbit, is more circular. So instead of elliptical. So I believe it's almost half. No, I'm sorry. For 1/8 of its orbit, Pluto is actually closer to the sun.
Oh. Wow.
Because of its perfectly circular orbit.
Oh, that would be impressive if Pluto was a planet.
If Pluto counted, right. Neptune appears blue when reflecting light due to the interesting makeup of its atmosphere. Hydrogen and helium make up a large majority of the atmospheric molecules, though it also contains methane. So methane is known to absorb red light, thus giving Neptune its blue shade.
Oh.
So the methane absorbs all the sunlight and all the red infrared frequency from it. I guess we can, sure, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Like a space scientist.
So that's why it's blue. And actually they think, like a space scientist, so they think that, and they compare it to Uranus because Uranus is not as vividly blue as Neptune, that they think there's an unidentified atmospheric gas that we don't know about yet that's giving it this intense blue.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. I hope we find something more about that. This was weird. It's stated that, and I quote, as a result of processes not fully understood, Neptune emits twice as much energy as it takes in by the sun. So usually these things are supposed to be reciprocal. And actually, when I was reading about Uranus, that is the opposite. It emits less energy
than it
takes in by the sun. But for some reason, Neptune doubles almost, is what I read. They think it's because there's energy that's generated at the core and then emitted out from the planet.
Oh.
So I found that really interesting. I wonder if that has something to do with what makes the temperature so peculiar on Neptune. So at roughly surface level, Neptune is actually the one that does not have a set surface. There's no like physical surface for something to land on.
Oh, it's all gaseous?
Yeah.
Or
liquid.
Okay.
Right. So the temperature at surface level is around negative 370 degrees. But as you increase altitude and decrease pressure, so as you go up less pressure, the temperature rises.
Oh, that doesn't usually happen.
Right. So 1,240 miles above the surface, the temp goes all the way up to 890 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, I wonder if that's then due to, as you just said, the fact that it is emitting so much more energy?
I guess because of the pressure. So I guess I don't really know much about pressure, like atmospheric pressure. But as the pressure goes down, maybe there's less resistance for that heat. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it as we do it.
Huh.
Yeah, I really don't know. But it goes up, so it's a drastic change, almost as drastic as the one on Mercury.
What a lovely bookend.
Right? Neptune also has an interesting wind pattern. So the winds on Neptune typically blow east or west, depending on the latitude you're at on the planet. Right. So at latitude 70 south, you have easterly winds at 220 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Regularly. That's not a gust. That's straight all the time. Sustained wind. Thank you. Yet at 20 south latitude, you have westerly winds up to 1,570 miles per hour. Actually, this coincides with the dark spot.
Oh.
So the dark spot is thought to be a slow-moving storm, essentially. But it moves slower than the other spots around it and the clouds around it. And actually, like, let me pull up a picture really quick.
I was going to say, I think I can picture it in my head, but...
So there's the dark spot, right? Oh. And then this little white cloud.
Yeah.
Those are thought to be methane ice clouds that kind of chill in the area. And I guess because of the strong winds.
Oh.
Yeah, so the winds in this storm were measured at up to 1,500 miles per hour, which is the highest in the entire solar system.
Oh, my God. That's 1 mile per hour of wind for every $1 of rent. That's, I don't know. That's terrible. Keep going, please. God, please keep going.
Actually, that's my rap.
That's a nice
barbecue chicken. It's a wrap, baby.
I love it. I did not realize again that there was so much like weather activity that was happening on these other planets.
Right. Why would we care?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, kind of. Well, I guess it's one of those things where I'm sure, like, again, if we were proper space scientists, that we would know, like...
I think there's a word for that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to just keep going with this.
I like space scientists better. Too. Just saying.
It just sounds like something from, like, a 1950s, like, comic, too. Like, he was an evil space scientist.
And you know what? Astronomer and astrologer are too close.
Right. And one of them also being, like, a legit science, and one of them being,
space science.
Right. One of them space science, one of them's spacey science, or whatever.
Touché.
But I'm sure that there are folks that could probably tell us, if anything, like, oh, those 1,500 mile per hour winds on Neptune actually impact our, tides or whatever the hell. Oh.
You know what? As much as you're right, as much as I love this and like love doing it, we don't know any of this stuff because we don't have to.
And this is also wild because I think this is also the perfect example of seeing science in real time.
Yeah.
Like there are so many discoveries and like, so when we had talked about again, like Voyager 2 and how it did its flyby of Uranus in 1986.
Yeah.
Voyager 2 was launched in 1977. So like it didn't actually make its way out there and finally send signals and images back until 9 years later. And that's the same sort of thing that's happening now. It's great stuff.
We're about to learn a bunch of new stuff over the next couple of years, probably
100%.
About
100%, as long as we don't, as long as we're still here.
I feel much more of a space scientist right now than I did earlier in the show.
Me too.
Yeah, and we hope you guys do too.
We hope you do too. So go ahead and rock it on over to that subscribe button.
You can shuttle shuffle your way over to Instagram if you would like at Beers and Podcast. You like that shuttle shuffle?
I like shuttle shuffle.
I'm going to call that a football drill from now on.
Just
tell people, like, go do the shuttle shuffle or something, right?
Yeah, right. Why don't you go
take a lap and shuttle shuffle.
Why don't you go shuttle shuffle yourself in the corner over there?
Yeah, but please like, comment, subscribe, come follow us, YouTube, Beers and Podcast.
You know what? Tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Tell your friends about us because, when you
tell
have
your mom, your dad.
Your mom, your dad.
Your sister, your uncle.
When you have a beer with Alex and I, you're not drinking alone.
That's true. And there's not many sadder things than drinking alone.
Exactly.
I can think of a couple.
I mean, I can think of a couple things. Yeah. Weeping whilst drinking alone.
We should probably just end there.
Sometimes you like to have a little bit of a dance party. Maybe it's just me, but we'll see.
Okay. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Stay classy, stay cool, keep drinking beer, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.